Good evening, students. Welcome back to our class. Today, we are going to discuss a non-conventional energy sources. In previous lectures, we discussed about the fossil fuels, then nuclear energy. Now, today, we are going to start a non-conventional energy source. So, let us start with non-conventional energy sources. Before starting a non-conventional energy source, we must know about what is by energy, what are the sources of energy, what are the major sources of energy, how our use of energy has changed in time, or how we can use energy, to what purpose energy used for, and we discuss some challenges, some present scenario of non-conventional energy sources in India, some advantages, disadvantages, and finally we conclude at the last of this lecture. Okay, actually, energy is a primary and most universal measure of all kinds work by human being and nature. Everything is what happened. The world is the expression of flow of energy in one of its form. Energy is the major input to drive the life cycle and improve it. Energy consumption is closely related to the progress of the mankind in future improvement in the living standard of the mankind. Also, industrialization of the developing countries and the global demand of energy will increase with the every growing population. The development of infrastructure plays a significant role to sustain economical growth. The power sector is one of the major significant constituents of infrastructure. In general, India is dependent on conventional sources of energy like thermal, hydro and nuclear. Now, what is by renewable energy? First of all, renewable energy sources, also called as non-conventional energy, are sources that are continuously replaced by natural processes. For example, our solar energy, wind energy, biomass energy, biofuels, growth, sustainable hydropower plants are some of the examples of renewable energy sources. A renewable energy system converts the energy found in sunlight, wind, falling water, sea waves, geothermal heat or biomass into a form we can use, such as heat or electricity. Most of the renewable energy comes either directly or indirectly from sun and wind and can never be exhausted, and therefore they are called as renewable source. Most of the world's energy sources are derived from conventional sources, fossil fuels such as coal, oil and natural gas that we discussed already in first lecture. These fuels are often termed non-renewable energy sources, although the available quantity of these fuels are extremely large. They are never worthless, finite, and so will in principle run out at some time in the future. Renewable energy sources are essentially flow of energy, whereas the fossil and nuclear fuels are in essence stocks of energy. There are so many various forms of renewable energy. There are solar energy, wind energy, bioenergy, hydroenergy, geothermal energy, wave and tidal energy. That can classify into chemical, nuclear, gravity, indirect solar, direct solar, like that. We'll discuss one by one. First, we can start with the solar energy sources. Solar energy is the most readily available and free source of energy, since it is estimated that solar energy equivalent to over 15,000 times the world's annual commercial energy consumption reaches the earth every year. That's why it is a very important part of renewable energy. India receives solar energy in the region of 5 to 7 kilowatt per kWh per meter square for 300 to 330 days in a year. This energy is sufficient to set up 20 megawatt solar power plant per square kilometer land area. Means this much amount of energy is available in our India for 300 to 330 days from 365 days. Solar energy can be utilized throughout two different routes, as solar thermal route and solar electric route. Solar thermal route uses the sun's heat to produce hot water or air, cook food, drying materials, etc. And solar photovoltaic uses sun's heat to produce electricity for lighting home and building, running motors, pumps, electric applications and other. As we know, we can use solar energy to run solar water heater, for solar cooker, for solar electric generator, solar photovoltaic cell, to convert solar energy into the electrical energy, solar water pumps. Okay. If you see this schematic diagram in which the solar energy or solar radiations are incident on a solar panel, that solar panel can produce electric current, and due to that solar panel we can convert solar energy into the electrical energy, and that can be stored in batteries. Okay. Next, wind energy source. Wind energy is basically harnessing of wind power to produce electricity. The kinetic energy of the wind is converted to electrical energy. In this energy source, we are going to convert a kinetic energy of a wind to the electrical energy. When solar radiations enter the earth atmosphere, different regions of the atmosphere are heated to different degree because of earth curvatures. This heating is higher at the equator and lowest at the poles, since air tend to flow from warmer to a cooler region. This causes what we call winds, and it is the airflow that are harnessed in windmills and wind turbines to produce a power. A simple logic. In this wind energy convert a kinetic energy, or in this case kinetic energy get converted to the electrical energy by using windmills or wind turbines. Wind power is not a new development, as this power in the form of traditional windmills for grinding corn, pumping water, sailing ship have been used for centuries. Now wind power is harnessed to generate electricity in a larger scale with battery technology. There are so many technologies are available, in which vertical axis wind turbine, horizontal axis wind turbine are the main part. that we, if you want to know the technology behind wind energy, you can go through vertical axis wind turbines and horizontal axis wind turbine. Now, wind energy in India has been rated as one of the most promising country for wind power development, with as essential potential of 20,000 megawatt. Total installed capacity of the wind electric generator in the world is near about 30,000 megawatt, in which India contribute 2,000 megawatt. We are in the top listed of countries. Thus, India ranks 5th in the world in wind power generator. Next, biomass energy. Biomass is a renewable energy resource derived from the carbonaceous waste of various human and natural activities. It is derived from numerous sources, including the byproducts from the wood industry, agricultural crops, raw material from the forest, household waste, etc. Biomass does not add carbon dioxide to the atmosphere, as it absorbs the same amount of carbon in growing as it released when consumed as a fuel. Its advantages is that it can be used to generate electricity with the same equipment that is now being used for burning fossil fuels. Biomass is an important source of energy and the most important fuel worldwide after coal, oil and natural gas, because this kind of byproducts are very easily available in every country. That is why it is a important fuel worldwide. Bioenergy is in the form of biogas, which is derived from biomass, is expected to become one of the key energy resource for global sustainable development. Biomass offers higher energy efficiency through form of biogas than by direct burning or indirect. Next, hydro energy. The potential energy of falling water captured and converted to mechanical energy by water wheels powered the start of the industrial revolution. Wherever sufficient head or change in elevation could be found, rivers and streams were dammed and mills were built. Water under pressure flows throughout a turbine, causing it to spin. Just see this schematic diagram. The turbine is connected to a generator which produces electricity as shown in this diagram. In order to produce enough electricity, a hydroelectric system required a location with the following features, which having specific features, that is change in an elevation or head 20 feet at 100 gallon per minute, which is equal to 200 watts. 100 feet head at 20 gallon per minute gives the same output. In India, the potential of small hydropower is estimated about 10,000 megawatt. A total of 183.45 megawatt small hydro project have been installed in India by the end of March 1999. Small hydropower plant projects of 3 megawatt capacity have been also installed individually, and 148 megawatt project is under construction and many more is going to develop in our country. In this way, we can convert a potential energy of water to the electrical energy. Next, tidal and ocean energy. Tidal electricity generation involves the construction of a bar range across an estuary to block the incoming and outgoing tide. The head of water is then used to drive turbine to generate electricity from the elevated water in the basin, as in hydroelectric dams. Barrages can be designed to generate electricity on the ebb side or flood side or both. The tidal energy may vary over a wide range, that is 4.5 to 12.4 meter from site to site. On that basis, we can construct the barrages. A tidal range of at least 7 meter is required for economical operation and for sufficient head of water for the turbines. Next, ocean energy. As we know, ocean covers more than 70% of Earth's surface, making them the world's largest solar collector. Ocean energy drawn on the energy of ocean waves, tides, or on the thermal energy stores in the ocean. The sun warms this surface water a lot more than the deep ocean water, and this temperature difference stores a thermal energy also. The ocean contains two types of energy: thermal energy from the sun heat and mechanical energy from the tides and waves. Ocean thermal energy is used for many applications, including electricity generation. There are three types of electricity conversion system: closed cycle, open cycle, and hybrid. Closed cycle system uses the ocean's warm surface water to vaporize a working fluid which has a low boiling point, such as ammonia. The vapor expands and turns a turbine. The turbine then activates a generator to produce electricity. Next one is open cycle system. Actually boil the sea water by operating at a low pressure. This produces steam that passes throughout a turbine or generator, and we can produce electricity. And third one and last is the hybrid. Hybrid system combines both clocked cycles and open cycle system. Okay, these are this is all about the non-conventional energy sources which are available in nature. Now we will discuss what are the advantages. A non-conventional renewable energy is an indigenous source available in considerable quantities to all developing nations and capable in principle of having a significant local, region or national economic impact. There is a great scope of research and development in non-conventional renewable energy sector regarding its future development and scientific utilization. The power plant based on renewable do not have any fuel cost and hence negligible running cost. Renewable have low energy density and more or less there is no population or ecological balance problem. provides energy in environmentally managing manner. The use of non-conventional renewable energy could help conserve for foreign exchange and generate local employment if conservation technologies are designed, manufactured and assembled and installed locally. It is a short generation period and low investment. These are the advantages of non-conventional energy sources. Now, after discussing non-conventional energy sources, we conclude that the sustainable economic development and growth of any country are closely related to the development and security of its energy sector. Concerning the finite and limited reserves of conventional energy source and their impact on environment, a great emphasis should be given to the development of non-conventional energy sector and their proper utilization for the benefit and betterment of mankind. Such initiatives would also be helpful to create many employment opportunity at all levels, especially in rural area. Thus, mainstream of non-conventional and renewable energy technologies is becoming very essential for the developing countries. In India, there is a great scope for the development of non-conventional and renewable energy sector. India is the only country that has an exclusive ministry for the new and non-conventional energy source. India possesses the largest decentralized solar energy program, the second largest biogas and improved stove programs, and the fifth largest wind power program in the world. That is why we can encourage our student to move in a research area, especially related with the non-conventional energy. Okay, students, if you have any doubt about this non-conventional energy sources, you can ask me. Thank you.